Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, August 2nd, 2022. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's Major League Baseball games and look ahead to today's games in baseball as well as Major League Soccer and the Wnba. I'll hit on the trade deadline news as the deadline approaches today at 6 p.m. We'll talk news and notes and best bet of the day. All right, now we will go right to baseball. Go over yesterday's results and look ahead to the games today. A lot of deadline stuff that I'm looking forward to talking about, obviously. But the results: Reds over the Marlins 3-1. Cincy's 41-61. Marlins are 47-56. Hunter Green the win. Jesus Luzardo the loss, and Hunter Strickland the save. Mets over the Nationals 7-3. The Mets are 65-37. Washington is 35-69. Max Scherzer the win against his former team, and Patrick Corbin the loss. Yankees over the Mariners 7-2. Yankees 70-34. Seattle 55-49. Domingo Germán the win. Marco Gonzalez the loss. Guardians over the Diamondbacks 6-5 in 11 innings on a walk-off single by Eddie Rosario. Or Ahmed Rosario, my bad. Wrong Rosario. Cleveland's 53-49. Arizona's 45-57. Getting the win was Sam Hentages, and the loss, Mark Melancon. Twins over the Tigers 5-3 in 10 innings on a walk-off two-run shot by Giovanni Urshela. Minnesota is 54-48. Detroit is 41-63. Getting the win was Griffin Jackson. The loss, Alex Lang. Red Sox over the Astros 3-2. Boston 52-52. Houston 67-37. Nathan Eovaldi to win. Luis Garcia the loss, and Tanner Houck the save. Orioles over the Rangers 7-2. The Orioles are 52-51. Texas is 46-56. Spencer Watkins the win. John Gray the loss, and Keegan Aiken the save. Royals over the White Sox 2-1. The Royals are 41-62. Chicago's 51-51. Daniel Lynch to win. Michael Kopech the loss, and Scott Barlow the save. Padres over the Rockies 4-1. The Padres are 58-46. Colorado's 46-58. Mike Clevenger to win. Antonio Sensatello the loss, and Luis Garcia the save. Dodgers over the Giants 8-2. The Dodgers are 69-33. San Fran is 51-52. Caleb Ferguson the win, and Logan Webb the loss. Trying to think of what. Oh, I had the over in the Red Sox Astro game. That was a loser. Oh my God, best bet's in a major slump right now. All right, baseball today, 4 o'clock. Doubleheader game 1, Rockies-Padres. Ryan Feltner and Yu Darvish. Part of me wonders if this is a makeup from earlier in the season. The Padres are minus 250. The Rockies are plus 205. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 102. Padres minus 1.5 is minus 118. For this game, I'm going to go with the over. Ryan Feltner's not good. 6:30 have the Reds at the Marlins. Graham Ashcraft and Baxton Garrett. Marlins minus 136. Reds plus 116. Over under 7. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 94. Marlins minus 1.5 is plus 158. Interesting one, but I'm going to go with over 3.5 first half total runs at minus 114. 7 o'clock, Brewers-Pirates. Corbin Burns and Bryce Wilson. Brewers minus 270, Pirates plus 220, over under 8, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Brewers minus 1.5 is minus 152. Pirates plus 1.5 is plus 126. It's crazy that the Pirates are over 2-1 at home as an underdog. Insane. But I'm going with the over. Bryce Wilson's just not good. Mets Nationals. Jacob deGrom making his season debut against Corey Abbott. The Mets are minus 320. The Nats are plus 260. Over under 8. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Mets minus 1.5 is minus 176. Nats plus 1.5 is plus 146. With the idea of DeGrom not being this dominant guy that he usually is. First game back, I'm taking the Nationals run line. +1.5 is +146. I think that's insane to expect DeGrom to go out there and just dominate in his first outing, which wouldn't surprise me because the Nats lineup is so bad. And Soto might not be there today. And that's why that line is so inflated. It's because Soto and Bell might not be there today. But I'm still making that the pick. Mariners and Yankees. Logan Gilbert and Jamison Tyone. Yanks -172. Seattle +144. Over under 8.5. Overs -114. Unders -106. Mariners +1.5 is -138. Yankees -1.5 is +115. I like the under, but I don't feel good about it. Logan Gilbert's been really good this year. Tyone's been up and down. And I think that Tyon pitches better at home than he does on the road. Diamondbacks, Guardians, Zach Gallen and Tristan McKenzie. Same ERA, which is interesting. Guardians -136. Diamondbacks +116. Over under 7.5. Overs -118. Unders -104. Diamondbacks +1.5 is -184. Guardians -1.5 is +152. I'm going to go with the under. I think this will be a well-pitched game. Blue Jays, Rays. Kevin Gausman and Drew Rasmussen. Blue Jays -138. Rays +118. Over under 7. Overs -122. Unders even money. Blue Jays -1.5 is +132. Rays +1.5 is -160. I'm going to go with the first half over 3.5 at -102, but I don't feel good about it. 7:20 Phillies, Braves. Nick Nelson and Spencer Strider. Braves -240. Phillies +198. Over under 8. Overs -118. Unders -104. Phillies +1.5 is even money. Braves -1.5 is -120. The Phils are almost 2-1. And they're +198 and 35.3 according to ESPN Analytics. Kind of like the Phils as a sneaky underdog that can win outright. So I'm taking the Phils. 7:30 Tigers, Twins. Matt Manning and Chris Archer. Twins -188. Tigers +158. Over under 9. Overs -108. Unders -112. Tigers +1.5 is -125. Twins -1.5 is +104. I like the over. I know Matt Manning's been okay, but against a good lineup, we'll see. Cubs, Cardinals at 7:45. Keegan Thompson and Adam Wainwright. Cardinals -174. Cubs +146. Over under 8.5. Overs -105. Unders -115. Cubs +1.5 is -137. Cardinals -1.5 is +114. I like the under. I think this is an under game. Keegan Thompson's been pretty good for Chicago, and Adam Wainwright. 8 o'clock, Orioles, Rangers. Jordan Lyles and Spencer Howard. Rangers -132. Orioles +112. Over under 8.5. Overs -115. Unders -105. Orioles +1.5 is -194. Rangers -1.5 is +160. Oh my God, I love the over. I know the Rangers are enticing too. The Orioles are enticing as a +112 underdog. Orioles and the over, but the over's a lock. Like, Spencer Howard is so bad, and Jordan Lyles has been better for Baltimore. But I don't think he's great. Red Sox, Astros. Cutter Crawford and Christian Javier. Astros -198. Red Sox +166. Over under 8. Overs -114. Unders -106. Red Sox +1.5 is -128. Astros -1.5 is +106. I'm going with the under. Maybe I'm judging it off the first game, but I think this is an under. Royals, White Sox. Brad Keller and Lucas Giolito. White Sox -178. Royals +150. Over under 8.5. Overs -112. Unders -108. Royals plus 1.5 is minus 142. White Sox minus 1.5 is plus 118. Neither of these guys have been that good this year. But neither of these teams' lineups are very good. I hate this pick so much, but I'm going to take the under. 9:30, the A's at the Angels. Cole Irvin and Noah Syndergaard, who might not be the starter once the game starts. Angels minus 120, Oakland plus 102, over under 7.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Oakland plus 1.5 is minus 120, Angels minus 1.5 is plus 180. Kind of like Oakland as the dog. They're 49.1% to win according to ESPN Analytics, and they're plus 102. So give me Oakland the win outright, plus 102. 9:45 on TBS, you have the Dodgers at the Giants. Tyler Anderson and Alex Wood. Dodgers minus 148, Giants plus 126, over under 8, overs minus 108, unders minus 112. Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 115, Giants plus 1.5 is minus 138. Kind of do like the Giants at that number. Plus 126. I'm going to actually take the Giants. 45.3 according to ESPN Analytics. Wouldn't be shocked if the Dodgers let up here only because what if the Padres trade for Juan Soto? That could be a distraction. So I kind of like the Giants. And 10 o'clock, doubleheader game 2, the Rockies and the Padres. Jose Urena and Reese Nair. And that game is not posted yet on the FanDuel. All right, now I'm going to go look at the WNBA slate for today after the day off. 7 o'clock on NBA TV, you have the Mercury at the Sun. The Sun are favored by 9.5, totals 166.5. The Mercury have a lot of talent, but they just underachieved this year so far. I like the over in that game. CBS Sports Network at 7 o'clock, you have the Sparks at the Liberty. The Liberty are favored by 4.5, totals 163.5. Kind of like the Sparks getting the 4.5. I usually don't pick against the Liberty on the podcast, but that's because the Liberty are usually a huge underdog that should be taken seriously because of Ionescu. But I'm going against the Liberty at home, taking the Sparks plus 4.5. I think the Sparks can win too. They're plus 172 to win outright. On Facebook, you have the Aces at the Mystics. The Aces are favored by 2.5, totals 165.5. This feels like a Vegas nose game, unfortunately. I'm going to lay to 2.5 at Vegas. And at 9 o'clock on CBS Sports Network, you have the Wings at the Sky. The Sky are favored by 7.5, totals 167.5. I'm going to lay the points of the Chicago Sky. I think they're better than Dallas. And they're on a mission to defend that title. So I'm going to lay to 7.5 with the Chicago Sky against the Dallas Wings. All right, we have Major League Soccer tonight. So we got to touch on that. So, 2 games. First game, you have the Red Bulls hosting Colorado. The Red Bulls have only won 2 of their last 5. Colorado's won 1 of their last 5. Red Bulls, 4th in the East with 36 points. Colorado is 12th in the West with 24 points. Red Bulls are minus 150. Colorado's plus 360. Draws plus 270. Red Bulls are a plus 9 on the year. Colorado is a minus 4. And for this game, I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 198. And 10 o'clock, you have Seattle hosting Dallas. Seattle's only won 1 of their last 5. Dallas has won their last 2. Dallas is 4th in the West, 35 points with a plus 8 goal differential. Seattle is 9th in the West with 29 points. 2 back of Portland for the 7th seed, plus 2 goal differential. Dallas is minus 130. Seattle's 3-1 draw, plus 260. I saw someone on Twitter notice how big of underdogs Seattle's being, which is shocking. And it is shocking. Because I don't think Seattle is that bad of a team. So for this one, I'm going to go with the draw here at plus 260 because I think that's a lot of value. All right, the Major League Baseball trade deadline is today at 6 o'clock. I just want to talk about the latest. So we had some big acquisitions, and one I discussed on the podcast yesterday, and that is the New York Yankees acquiring Frankie Montas from the Oakland Athletics along with Lou Trevino for J.P. Sears, Ken Waldichuk, Luis Medina, and second baseman Cooper Bowman. So 3 pitchers in Bowman for Montas and Trevino, according to Jack Curry of Yes. He was the first to break it. I think it is a good trade for the Yankees. Montas slides in and is somebody that could start a playoff game for them. He's arguably now their second best starter behind Garrett Cole. He's having a great year this year, 3.1. I think it's a 3.11 ERA, despite a poor win-loss record. And what was I going to say? The Yankees pulled this off without giving up a top 4 prospect, which is incredible. And that's really good on Brian Cashman's part. And Oakland did that great of a job. Oakland probably should have gotten one of their top 4, but they didn't. Waldichuk's good. J.P. Sears is good. Medina has potential. But Oakland should have been asking for Peraza or Dominguez, or I think Volpe's a reach. And Austin Wells could have been had too, but good on the Yankees. Brian Cashman does it again. Gets a great starter without giving up a top 4 prospect. And something they badly had to do, and they did it. The Yankees also acquire relief pitcher Scott Effross from the Chicago Cubs for their number 7 prospect, Hayden Wisniewski. I think that is a solid deal for the Yankees, 2.66 ERA in 47 games this year. Effross, and now Effross goes into a pennant race. We'll see if he continues to pitch well. The Angels decided they're keeping Shohei Ohtani, and the Yankees were among teams that made a serious trade offer. And of course, the Angels said no. The Yankees out on Pablo Lopez as they found the price high as they checked in. The Astros acquired Trey Mancini from the Baltimore Orioles in a 3-team trade. The Rays get Jose Siri in the deal. The Orioles get 2 minor league righties. I like Mancini for Houston. He is somebody that fits their lineup well. So the righty pitchers Baltimore gets are Chase McDermott and Seth Johnson. And Jaden Murray goes to Houston in that deal as well. Rays get Jose Siri and then designate for assignment Brett Phillips in the process. So I think that is a pretty nice deal for Houston getting Trey Mancini. And the Astros also get Christian Vasquez from the Boston Red Sox. And Boston gets back in return Emmanuel Valdez and Willer Abreu. So 2 good pickups and upgrades for the Houston Astros as they try to go back to the World Series. Speaking of Pablo Lopez, the Dodgers had discussions with the Marlins about him. The Cardinals ramping up the Juan Soto pursuit, as they've been much more aggressive. The Red Sox are acquiring Tommy Pham from the Reds for a player to be named later. So Boston buying and selling. White Sox acquire Jake Dykman from the Red Sox for catcher Reese McGuire. So reclamation project. After the Cardinals, it was reported they ramped up their pursuit. It came out that they were hesitant on Soto, with talks at a critical point. Cardinals not willing to include Dylan Carlson on top of prospects in a deal. And the Cardinals acquire Jose Quintana from the Pittsburgh Pirates for righty Johan Oviedo and third baseman Malcolm Nunez, minor leaguer, going back to Pittsburgh. So the Cardinals get a depth piece in there, but they need more. Carlos Rodon would make perfect sense for St. Louis. And the Dodgers and the Padres all ramped up their offers for Soto as well. And then it was just reported about a half an hour ago the Padres are eyeing Soto and Josh Bell, as San Diego's the favorite for Soto and potentially Josh Bell. So that would be insane. Braves acquire Robbie Grossman from the Tigers. So a good little depth piece for them. The Syndergaard market has ramped up. Phillies, Blue Jays, and Atlanta in talks. The Royals are not trading Zach Greinke, as he will stay with the Royals. So that's interesting. The Braves acquired Jake Odorizzi from the Houston Astros for lefty reliever Will Smith. I like that deal a little bit better for Houston because they could use more relief help. I know Will Smith's had some bad moments in the postseason, but he's somebody that can get a big strikeout as well. And one trade that happened yesterday that we forgot to mention, the San Diego Padres land Josh Hader from the Milwaukee Brewers for closer Taylor Rogers, pitching prospect Robert Gasser, outfielder Esteury Ruiz, and righty Dinelson Lamet. I like that Lamet's in that deal. For Milwaukee. Maybe Lamet can get rejuvenated on Milwaukee. It's closer deal plus extra going to Milwaukee. I like it for both sides. I think both sides could use a change of scenery, especially Hader, who has struggled of late. So I like it on both sides. So tonight I'm going to have a show around, say, 7:30 to recap the trade deadline. So should be fun. Looking forward to it. And now I'm going to do news and notes for the day. There's baseball stuff to talk about that's related to the trade deadline, but it's not trades or rumors. Juan Soto had his possible last at-bat as a National, and the fans gave him a rightful standing ovation. That tends to happen a lot when you know somebody's in trade rumors and you know it could be their last moment with your team. So I don't blame the Nationals fans. Trey Mancini thanks the Orioles staff and the Johns Hopkins docs who treated his cancer, and he says he thinks it saved his life. And I think Mancini's going to be a good pickup in Houston. I think his power numbers are going to go up there. And the breaking news that I dropped on the show with Jeff Burns last night, Austin Riley, 10 years, $212 million extension to stay with the Braves. Good on Atlanta extending Austin Riley, who's having a fabulous year this year. And Jeff said it, he might be the next face of the franchise, not Acuna. Because Acuna's had some issues in the past. Austin Riley's a great player and deserved that money. And another extension handed out. Joe Musgrove, 5 years, $100 million with San Diego. We talked about this potentially happening yesterday, and here we are. Good on San Diego for inking him up long term. Luis Severino to the 60-day injured list with the lat injury, would not be able to return until mid-September. I think they just made this move to not waste a spot on the 40-man roster, which is smart. And then you have the September call-ups in September. So that's when that spot comes into play. So I don't mind that move at all. There's a lot of major overreactions. Always threw his last pitch as a Yankee. He's done. He's terrible. He's this. He's a bust. Yada, yada. I wouldn't call Severino a bust. It's just unlucky. I think a disappointment is accurate for Severino. But, so yeah. We'll see with Severino there. And the Yankees expect a Gallo trade, and it's reported it would be somewhat of a surprise if Joey Gallo is still a Yankee today. So he's still a Yankee right now, and it's 9:41 a.m. as we speak, 9:42, and got some time, couple hours, and I think that Milwaukee gathered up some assets. Maybe the Yankees could get Dinelson Lamet for Gallo. I'd be very happy if they got Dinelson Lamet, someone who I think Matt Blake can fix, and Dinelson Lamet. If they get him for Gallo, I'd be ecstatic as a Yankee fan. Just throwing that out there, because I think that Josh Hader trade gave the Brewers more assets that they could potentially flip to New York for Gallo. So I'd keep an eye on that one. So the Rays designated Brett Phillips for assignment, as I mentioned earlier. Teams interested: Yankees, Red Sox, and Phillies. Brett Phillips isn't a bad player. I think the Rays did him wrong here. He had a walk-off hit for them in the World Series in 2020. And it's just unfortunate. So we'll see. Chris Bryant to the injured list with a plantar fasciitis in his left foot. That's just been a terrible free agent signing. He's literally been the worst player in the National League that is a big-name player. Like, he's the National League's Joey Gallo. It's unfortunate because I love Chris Bryant as a player. He was an MVP, a World Series champion, and now he signs this big free agent deal with the Rockies, and it just hasn't worked out. Bryce Harper cleared to ramp up rehab as he had pins removed from his broken thumb, and the Phillies look to get him back, and they need him back if they want to make the playoffs, in my opinion. And here's an awkward MLB trade rumor as the Red Sox PR had to pull Christian Vasquez away from cameras after his trade to Houston in Houston. And that really had a negative impact on the Red Sox. Despite the win last night, there's media outlets reporting that was an unhappy clubhouse and that they did Christian wrong. And they did do Christian wrong. It was just terrible that what the Red Sox did to him. And hopefully Christian Vasquez really just sticks it to the Red Sox. Because they didn't get much back for him. Usually catchers like that don't go for much. And that's just unfortunate that happened. So non-baseball stuff. NFL camps. Orlando Brown reports to camp. So that's good news for the Kansas City Chiefs, despite not getting extended. Cowboys wide receiver James Washington out 2 months with the Jones fracture in his foot. Will miss extended time. That is a depth piece that Dallas was counting on, and now he's out. And they need to replace the production of Amari Cooper somehow. Van Jefferson to have surgery. As he'll undergo procedure on his knee that will sideline him for weeks, and we're not sure if he'll be back for week 1. That would be a big loss for the LA Rams. And speaking of the Rams, the door's open for Odell to go back there with that knee injury. So that'd be good for Odell if he were to go back there. Steelers extend kicker Chris Boswell 4 years, $20.5 million, as he ties Justin Tucker as the highest paid kicker in NFL history. So good on the Steelers. Boswell's a good kicker. And I'm not against paying kickers if your kicker is awesome. And Chris Boswell is awesome. So the NBA is investigating the New York Knicks for potential tampering before the Jalen Brunson signing. This doesn't surprise me, especially after the Philly story came out. This doesn't surprise me. The Knicks fans are going to come out and say the media hates us, yada, yada, yada. The league hates us. And the reason why they would call that out for tampering is because of Brunson's father being on Tom Thibodeau's staff. So we'll see what happens there. So some soccer news. McKinney out for 3 weeks as he'll miss the beginning of the season for Juve with the shoulder injury. So that is not good. And Barca sells more assets as the club announced 25% of Barca studios have been sold to Socios.com. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. I think I've lost my last 6 best bets. So I know the Friday best bet from a week and a half ago was a winner. I just don't remember on the top of my head what it was. So I am going to drop a quarter of a unit on. There's one I actually loved, and I'm like, that's best bet. I'm going to do the Orioles-Rangers games where I want to go, but that's overpriced now. So I'm going to go with the under in the Cubs-Cardinals game. Under 8.5 at minus 115. I'm going to lay a quarter unit on it. So under 8.5 between the Cubs and the Cardinals for my best bet of the day. I think Adam Wainwright will pitch a gem. So that's it for the show. I'll be back tonight for the trade deadline recap show. I'll give every team a grade, and I will discuss every deal made today, and then the grades will be based on what they've done leading up to the trade deadline. I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.